Ever since I first started rock climbing, hanging out up on a ledge on a cliff, I just thought that was the coolest thing. It's a pretty incredible experience. Brent and I are trying to free climb El Niño via the Pineapple Express variation. El Niño is a 25 pitch route on the right side of El Cap in Yosemite National Park. We chose to go ground up on this. Going ground up means you're starting from the ground with all of your supplies and going to the top, versus rappelling in or rehearsing pitches where you would rappel down the climb itself, kind of like practice everything. When you're going ground up, everything is unknown. It's all a bit more of an adventure as you are questing up from the ground without having any prior knowledge really of what these pitches will be like. Lots of loose things. If it was all a bit more solid, it'd be a really cool pitch.
Yeah, too bad.
Brent and I have both climbed a handful of routes on the left side of El Cap, and this one kind of seemed like a step up both in difficulty and intensity.
The right side of El Cap is definitely a lot more intimidating for free climbing because it's steeper, the rock is pretty chossy, and El Niño comes right through the middle of it.
El Niño is characterized by face climbing. The west side routes, freerider, salite, even the nose tend to be clean splitter cracks. And the east side routes are more friable, more face holds, and just a totally different experience.
El Cap is a really big wall, but I think what makes it so difficult to climb is the fact that because it's big, you wind up having to go multi-day, which means you have to haul your gear, which makes you move slower. And so it's easy for El Cap climbing to sort of snowball, where the climbing's a little too hard, so you bring too much stuff, and then you're too tired, and you move too slowly, and then you're really tired, and then the wheels come off the train.
I managed to stab my finger with a knife the other day. I think all I did was slice a bit of muscle tissue. There's a bit of me that's like pretty concerned that something more significant is wrong with it. I knew physically it would be a big challenge. I mean, you're climbing for potentially up to 8 days straight on the wall, and that includes 6 pitches of up to mid 513. So physically, that was going to be a big challenge, just to have the strength and endurance and capacity to perform at a high level day after day, especially living on the wall where it's not optimal living conditions. There's more loose rock, there's more questing and unknowns and route finding. So mentally, that's a challenge of just like bringing your best head game to every pitch and keeping nerves or fear under control all the time.
Amity is the most tenacious and hardworking climber maybe that I've ever met.
For her level of experience, she's done more than any other woman that I know of on El Cap in terms of free routes.
I started climbing in college, actually worked for the rock wall on campus. First time I ever went to Yosemite was in 2019, and on-sighting Astroman was the highlight of my trip that time. The next time was 2021. At that point, I came in like having no intention or realistic belief that I would ever climb El Cap. So that season, I climbed quite a bit with a good friend, Will Sharp, and that was my first intro to big wall climbing.
She approached climbing with attitude of, I'm just gonna go up there and give it everything I have.
Got Amity mantling onto the ledge. What you doing over there, dude?
Yeah! We did Freerider, and a few weeks later I did Golden Gate, and just romped around the valley and climbed as much as I possibly could.
She's moving like 200 pounds of shit like it's nothing, dude.
Yeah!
In a lot of ways, she's the opposite of an Instagram influencer. You know, it's like she's just out ascending all the time.
She represents the new generation of climbers that are really serious. They train like Olympians.
She is getting after it, and not only just one route a year, but constantly throughout the year, which I think is a totally underrated thing.
She's not really projecting all these hard routes. She just shows up, she does them, she moves on to the next hard route. Amity's climbing sort of reminds me of Eastern European mountaineers, like 1980s Polish guys climbing heinous mountains in winter, just tough as nails. And you're like, I feel like Amity brings a little bit of that like old school mountaineering vibe to modern performance rock climbing.
You know what they say. Excuses are like buttholes. Everyone's got one, and no one wants to hear yours. Game time! All right, Brent.
We're climbing.
We're rock climbing!
Starting off strong.
Ow, ow. Brent's one of the most humble undercover crushers you'll ever meet. He's an absolute weapon.
It's pretty hard to find the right partner for these types of objectives, to have the same enthusiasm, to have a similar skill set, and to be able to send things at approximately the same pace is like almost impossible to find. So I feel super lucky in teaming up with Amity.
Oh, that one hurts every time. I kind of live with a sense of urgency where I very much feel that time is important and limited, but there's so many things that I want to accomplish and so many goals that I have. And maybe it's because I am kind of coming to the game a bit late in terms of really pushing myself hard in the climbing world. You know, I didn't start as a comp kid when I was 5 years old, and I'm never gonna have the strongest fingers and whatnot. But my ability to work hard is what carries me through and what's gotten me where I am in climbing. No hands! Woo! Oh, that was awesome. Oh, that feels good. A week ago, I didn't even think I was gonna be able to climb this because my finger is hurting so badly. And we just sent the first 3 crux pitches. Ow, ow!
Yay.
Woo!
Nice.
Boom.
Back to
Back to
back almost to the ground, but not the ground.
no ground dabs. All right, see you guys down there. It's always nice when you get to go to bed having sent the crux that you were working that day. Ozon!
Holloway.
Big wall free climbing is a lot of work. There's at least as much labor involved as there is actual climbing. The biggest, heaviest item is water. We had 175 pounds of water starting up the route, and then probably another 175 pounds of gear, food, everything as well. Bags are stuck again. Everything you need to survive for 8 days. The best sound on a big wall is when you finally hear your bag scraping below you. Oh, I can get gear here in a sec. Okay. Everything's harder on a big wall, right? It's not optimal living condition. Making breakfast takes longer, and going to the bathroom takes longer, and you're probably always either hot or cold or hungry or thirsty. This is good for us to dial all our systems in. Definitely adds up over the course of a big wall experience. So physically, it's a challenge just to perform at a high level day after day.
I think the bag's stuck.
Oh yeah, doing work.
To me, being up here is just a cool experience of improbability. We're up here doing this crazy thing, just pretty ridiculous, audacious things that humans probably shouldn't be doing. Is what it just feels out there. Oh, that was exciting.
It's kind of dirty 510 with weird/bad gear.
Nice work.
That was spooky.
Yeah.
Some bullshit rock.
Yeah.
It's a cool ledge. Probably be living here for a few days. By 10, it's supposed to be clear, even like partial sun by noon or 1.
Oh, it might like air things out.
At least half sun emoji, if that tells you anything. And then rain emojis at 2 p.m. Our humidity sensor says 94% humidity, 44 degrees.
94%.
Not great conditions for crimping.
Our next crux pitch is the hardest pitch of the route, La Niña. It's the 13, I think it's fully 13C after some holds have broken during previous ascents. 1 and 2 and 3. Oh, my legs are kind of tired from hauling. That's probably enough of that.
Well, we're nearing 100% humidity. It's just...
That's part of the challenge of big wall climbing, is performing under suboptimal conditions.
13C for breakfast. It's a stiff warm-up. I think I had the margin to pull it off, but it'd be a waste of effort if I didn't.
Your clock's always ticking up there, like you can't take days and days on a single pitch. You have to have the strategy and the ability to get it done quickly. Like you can't just decide you don't feel like climbing that pitch that day and come back in a few days when you're psyched again. It's like you're up there and you have to get it done.
Oh, that was limit. That was bad conditions.
Oh, damn.
Dude, good work. Jeez. That seemed kind of gnarly.
That was really gnarly.
Dude, I'm so impressed you did that in 99% humidity. I know he was fighting for it. I think that's some of the hardest I've seen Brent try on a pitch of rock climbing. It was really neat to see him dig deep and put it together. We are having chicken pasta Alfredo. We're having it at 4:30 p.m.
And there's nothing to do. There's nothing even to look at.
Dark and cold and stormy. It was a wet night.
I think we're pretty lucky to be under a giant roof. I don't think we'd want to be anywhere else. Oh, I forgot to ziplock my chalk. Rookie mistake.
This particular crux pitch, the boulder problem, has some really tiny edges, talking like little like micro edges, and right now is feeling quite hard for me. The finger hurts to pull hard enough on the left hand to get my feet up to do the next move. So, I don't know. That one was a bit discouraging. Right now we are waiting out the California sunshine.
We've got what, 8 hours till shade? There's a lot of waiting in rock climbing.
Like I have a hard time being patient when I'm anxious. And as we're waiting the whole day for the pitch to go into the shade, the pressure is just building and building. And I have to send this pitch before we can move on, because right now I'm the one holding up the team. And this evening is my only chance for me to send it before we have to move on. But, oh wow.
Oh damn.
We're not about to get rained on. Oh, I can't handle the roller coaster. I'm nervous enough. Waited all day for this moment. The pitch goes into the shade and I'm ready to go, and all of a sudden this storm cloud rolls in from across the valley. I'm devastated, thinking I'm not even going to get a chance to try. What? It's snowing. Good thing I've climbed in the snow before. So I start up the pitch. I'm ready to give it my best fight.
If you consider yourself a 13C climber at the Sport Crag, that probably means you sent a 13C in a season or after many, many project days. But it's really a different game to have to rise to the occasion and send something difficult like that in a matter of a couple tries, while cold, while not warmed up. All these different factors. You really can't just wait it out and show up at the perfect time.
Fuck, my foot slipped. I give it everything I have, but my foot slips in the crux and I'm hanging on the end of the rope. I tend to get pretty easily discouraged when I go up a pitch and can't do the moves right away, or feels like it's not coming together in those first couple of goes. It's really hard for me. It's really thin, really bouncy. I have to pull really hard on the left hand, one with the sore finger. I only had the time and energy to give one more attempt that evening. This would be my only shot. I had to make it count. And that pressure was immense. And I just had to be able to perform in that moment of pressure and not let it get to me. Almost there. That was so hard. I was really worried about that one. Yeah, I thought that was going to be the showstopper. It's amazing how you can go from like despair to elation from one attempt to the next. You do it once and fall and think it's like, no way it's gonna go. And then pull yourself together and send it the next go. And yeah, this huge rush of excitement and joy and realizing you're still sending, this is still possible.
This is me trying to make dinner with a canister that's now empty.
Oh no.
I'd be really sad if we had cold coffee.
Let's get some mac and cheese. Oh my gosh. This is intense. This is so much cheese.
Might need a little more water.
Yeah, maybe a bit.
Cheesy?
Cheesy. Delicious. Yeah, I'm a bit tired. It's a lot of days of trying to climb hard things. Today we're trying to send the Black Roof, which is the 13B steepest pitch. Yeah, quite a powerful roof exit sequence. Up a few pitches from camp. Here we go. 3 512s and another 513 on the docket. Just got sun. We're finally warming up. What's Adam Andra's favorite kind of food? Tzatziki! Alright, I'm going.
She's ready.
I'm not climbing. Can't climb El Cap without some down climbs here. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
That felt harder than I wanted. I might be a little tired from yesterday. Thankfully, Brent and I work together really well, and we're both able to kind of share the burden of like, I take a hard, scary, loose pitch, and then he leads a hard, scary, loose pitch, and we're able to kind of share that burden, which is really helpful.
Some of the worst rock I've ever climbed on. That's some bullshit there.
The physical toll of big wall climbing is pretty massive. You're climbing every day. You're not really taking rest days, and so that takes just a huge amount of energy out of you.
Gotcha, I'm with you.
Ah!
Come on. Getting our money's worth today.
Pretty wild, 12C. That's 3 for 3, 512s for both of us this morning. Not a bad way to start the day. This ain't Kansas anymore, Dorothy. One of the coolest things about big wall climbing is how intense emotions are. Like you're riding this roller coaster of extreme highs and extreme lows, and all of it's happening in a really condensed time frame. You can never like bank on success or succumb to defeat. Like you have to keep believing that this is possible. Come on. And keep being willing to overcome these unforeseen challenges that continue to come up the entire way up the wall.
That was scrappy. That was not my beta.
Good job. Way to get it done.
That was hard. Yeah. I didn't have very many of those attempts.
Now I gotta keep up.
You got this. Come on, Amity. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah.
Lord. Oh.
So good. That was awesome.
Oh, that's good. Onward. Yay. We're through the hardest, but it's not over. When we sent the Black Roof, we then had to rappel to Big Sur, pack up camp, and then haul up to our high point there at the top of Black Roof. And then we could start free climbing again after that, up to the next natural bivvy ledge, which is called the Cyclops Eye, where we would set up camp again and kind of base there for the final crux pitch. Straight left off the belay for 20 feet, up 10, back right 20.
Looks like some adventure traversing.
When I sent the Black Cave pitch, I had significant relief, but it wasn't the elation until after Amity did it. You're like really in it together, and I think both people feel like the success doesn't happen until both people have surmounted the pitch and are ready to move on. I really valued the partnered ascent. I think it's a fun way to have support, face challenges together, and share the intensity of the experience, where if somebody is just jugging and belaying, they're just a bystander. They're really not invested in the same way. It's such a cool added intensity. It's a harder style. It's harder to align the partner and align the timing day to day on the wall itself. But I think it really enriches the whole experience.
Starting to feel like I'm up on a wall.
Yeah. It was a big day.
Yeah, we climbed 513 today.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
What do we got left?
11A, 12C, 12B, 12A, 13A.
5-9. We got this. Nice. That looks crazy. It's really cool. It looks kind of burly. Is it powerful?
Yeah, it is. But you throw to a giant sloper and your hand's wet. Fucking hands are wet.
Shoot.
Damn it.
We're so close to the top.
I know.
We're getting stymied by a whole lot of wet rock. Just can't do that wet.
Yeah.
Oh, I was on it, but my hand's so wet. It was really like 3 wet holds that were between us and like 5-9 romping to the top.
Fuck.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah. I think the whole route's gonna come down to this wet boulder problem.
I think my biceps and skin will feel better tomorrow. It probably will still be wet, but I'll have more margin to deal with it, I think. I don't think either of us anticipated it being quite that much of a struggle to get it done. Of course, you're like 8 days on up there and you're exhausted and everything feels harder than it normally would. And then dealing with this dripping wet holds in the middle of the crux was a bit demoralizing. And you like go to bed feeling like we might not do it. We're going on a prayer, being a bit optimistic that it'll be less wet this morning than it was last night.
Seems about as wet as yesterday.
But yeah, you can see the drip down the wall from here, so it's funny because Brent's feeling a bit of uncertainty on this wet pitch. And I'm like, this is how I felt about every single crux pitch. I'm used to this feeling. I know what it's like to have to like hang in this tension of having not sent yet and still having to do it, and you don't know if it's gonna go. I'd been giving Brent a hard time the entire route for bringing extra socks, but we ended up using one of his extra wool socks to stuff in part of the crack to keep like one of the first holds from getting quite as wet. For the record, these are Brent's extra sleep socks that we're using to clean this.
Yeah, those sleeping socks are pretty absorbent, huh?
Pretty good. Oh, we got lots of tinfoil. The water was dripping from above in this crack, so we lined the crack with tinfoil to kind of divert the water around the hole itself and be a bit of a moisture barrier. This might work. Okay, we're testing. Dry.
Oh
Better.
my gosh. Well, shit.
Good. Yeah, Brent. Yeah.
I actually don't do well with the added mental stress. I really have to take some deep breaths and just look at the bigger picture, look at this cool experience I'm having with a friend, and just feel the pressure,
Nice.
but not linger on it.
Fuck yeah.
Good job. Now you just gotta wait for me.
No pressure, seriously.
Time is now.
Come on. Bring it over. Come on. Come on. Fuck yeah. Keep it together. Come on. Everything you have. Come on. Yeah. That's the kind of climber Amity is. Making it happen.
I don't think I could have dug any deeper in that moment, but the effort I gave was just enough. I was elated. We'd both sent. We were going to the top. We had done it. I was so maxed. Because of the finger injury, I'm operating with a lot less margin than if I was fully healthy. So all the climbing has taken more out of me than it normally would. I think one of my strengths is my ability to perform under pressure. So most of the cruxes came down to me having one last chance to send. And I often repeat this mantra to myself, like, time is now, like, find a way. And those were the moments when I gave my best performances and made it happen. Part of that ability to perform under pressure is just that I care so much. I'm not willing to give up. I'll pour out every last ounce of effort I have. Almost there. Woo! yeah, this is gonna be hard to haul.